Hello and welcome to ACX University. I am Rekesha Pittman, affectionately known as the midwife to over 500 authors worldwide. My journey has been absolutely amazing. I am the chief strategist of EAST, that stands for entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer. And I have been training people for, since 2009, how to effectively leverage books that will expand their voice in the market and reach people and leave a legacy for themselves. So, will you allow me to guide you through some amazing tips that will help you to reach the masses with your work? Let's get ready. Audio is our way. Communication has been such a powerful tool throughout human existence, and technology has played an amazing part in how we connect and how we communicate in the world we have today. And when we connect as people and we begin to form friendships, most commonly it begins with a simple hi, hello. Even if you've met via online means, there's nothing like a voice that connects with you, that can really bond you with somebody else. We must continue as creatives, as authors, as producers, and as storytellers to reach people that are on the go. Whether we're in our cars, whether we're on the move, we're at the gym, we're out walking, we're out dining, we can tap into the power of the ear, and there is nothing like it. So how does your voice stand out? If we step back in time, there was a powerful person that was an oral storyteller. It was a tradition. And people would gather around this person and come together in groups, and they would listen in as entertainment and hear amazing stories, fiction or fact, that would completely pierce them to the core and add to the fabric of that society. Before television, there was radio, and people would gather around radios. Imagine hearing a boxing match on the radio and relying on the voice of somebody else to tell you what was going on. But you know what the power of that was? It sparked our imagination. So instead of being shown, instead of being led and suggested about what to think, when we heard things, the audio allowed us to create our own universe, to create our own world, and to build on our own imagination. Let's put the power of audio to work today. Audio, amigos, is the way. Here's what I want you to remember. Don't look at competition or how many podcasts or audiobooks are out there as a way to say that your voice and your story are not needed. Don't try to find a way to disqualify yourself. As a matter of fact, you should look at it as possibilities that are endless for you. This is what I always say as an author. Think about this. My books have gone places my feet have yet to meet. I love the fact that my words can travel to places that I may never visit and some that I plan to in the very near future. Audio has that same power for you. There may be people who don't enjoy sitting down reading a book, or who would prefer not to be stuck to a screen, but like to tap into that power of their imagination to hear your voice or the voice of someone else make your words come to life. Releasing your content creates footprints much larger than your feet could ever create. Technology makes this possible, and we will continue to evolve. Now, here's a good piece of advice. Stop waiting for the circumstances to be perfect. There is no perfect time. Now is the time for you to put your work out to the world. You can always revise it, but improvising, we'll take that right now. Audio, yes, amigos, we're there. Be encouraged. Your expertise will grow with your experience. Even when I started as a writer, heck, I wasn't perfect. And I think that in this society where we're taught to compete so much against each other, we wait until we have that perfect project or that perfect work to launch out there. Do your best. Put your best work forward and you can move forward, but you definitely have to start somewhere. Now, we know that people learn in different ways. I do, and you do too. And audio continues to allow us to listen over and over and over again until we get it down on the inside. So when I had to memorize pages and pages and pages of Shakespeare, the way that I did that was repeating it back to myself. Now, right in the palm of my hand, I can use the power of technology to record it and listen to it until it becomes a natural thing for me to repeat. Audio is definitely your friend, amigos. So listen to this. Begin to think about your content and your production as a franchise. It's something that you can continue to expand, to develop, to cultivate, to grow, and to pass from one generation to the next. And this is important to me, and maybe it's something that you can consider. When you put your work out there for the world to hear, you leave a legacy for following generations. So your work lives beyond you. I always say this, when my voice is no longer able to be heard in the earth, my work will extend far past and beyond my lifetime. If you think about that, that alone is worth you putting in the work and allowing your audio to be a great friend to others. I know that putting your content out to the world is not easy. You want to be criticized? Try to make a difference in this world. One of the things that I have definitely had to learn to do was to get some thick skin, because not everybody wants you to win, but more people do than they want you to lose. So remember that. If you're wrestling with whether you should put something out, I want you to remember this. Some things are just rehearsal. I've written books that I never released, and I had to consider that a form of a rehearsal. So release yourself. If there's some projects that you have to leave on the cutting room floor in order to move forward, that is fine. I talk to people all the time who wrestle and they can't go forward onto their next project because they're holding on to something that they feel is a failure unless they release it. So if there is something that is inspiring you, if there's a project that has taken precedence in your life, go ahead and leap forward into that. We need to hear what you have to say. So if you're hitting any roadblocks, there's a few things that you can do. Number one, forgive yourself. If it's taken too long for you to do something, if you feel that you just can't get it right and it's just not the way that you want it to be, remember, the rehearsal is necessary so you can leave that backstage and put your best work center stage. So forgive yourself. What do you need to do to get that inspiration back again? You have time, but now, do you really have the motivation that you need to get it done? Now, we know that simply creating content is not where the story ends. That's where the story begins. You have to reach your audience. I am encouraging you as a person who creates to invest in the longevity of your work. We all talk about social media and its algorithms and how they continue to change. But what has not changed is the power of having your own list. Now, if you're like me, you are inundated with email messages every single day. Sometimes as creatives, we feel that we're bugging people and I don't want to keep saying the same thing, but guess what? Those who are out there making it happen are making it happen because they are consistent. So just like there are several ways for people to learn, there are also several ways for you to market and to get your message to the masses. So yes, you may have to email people. While I'm not here to tell you exactly what email service provider to use, you must choose one. Let people opt in. Give them tidbits, something exciting, teasers, trailers, a release that is coming up, but give them value in exchange for the privilege of contacting them via email. And another powerful tool that I've come to use is texting. Yes, I also get permission to reach people by phone, but the deliverability is absolutely amazing. So some of the things that I do via text is I give away freebies, lead magnets, snippets of books, exclusive webucation, webinars, seminars, training, conversations with me, things that the general public may not get or they may miss if I simply just shared it on social media. So find a great texting service and offer people value to become a part of your community and a part of your tribe so that they can get a backstage pass to what you are working on. Look, go live, do videos. I tell people that and they get all scared. If you are comfortable with your own voice, and if you are comfortable with your own face, it's easier to put that out in front of everybody else. I'm not saying that you have to be the star. I'm just saying that you should appreciate yourself, your work, and your voice. I talk to people who say, well, I don't like my voice. And I said, well, who complained to you about your voice? The answer 100% of the time has been nobody. We have these things that we put on ourselves that limit who we're able to reach. I love the fact that when I get in front of the camera or when I come on audio or when I go on a podcast, that I'm not thinking about myself, my flaws, my weight, my hair, my limitations. I am thinking about the person on the other side of that who is going to see me and be motivated to do their own best work. So when you get down on yourself and when you start to criticize yourself and when you put down your work and think that maybe I'm done or maybe it's just not good enough, remember, it's not only your audience, but there are other people out there who are looking to you to be that example and to be that star for them, to get them started on their own path. That's why audio, amigos, is an amazing way to impact the world in a great way. And of course, if you want to put money behind your project, you can always run ads, but you definitely want some people on your team who know what they're doing so that you are hitting your target audience in the right way. And make sure that you're giving things that your people actually want. So a great way to do that is ask. Ask them, what do you want? What would you like? What would you like more of? And here's a great indicator as well. When people respond well to something that you put out, you can do more of that. If you get crickets on something else that you do, you should probably do less of that. But it's all a learning curve, so don't feel rejected when you do it. More than anything, be consistent. You don't have to be the one doing everything, but you need to make sure that your machine is constantly running. So be consistent. Make sure that you deliver however many times a week, however many times per day that you think that that is necessary. Make sure that you're giving it. So don't just start like really big and you're starting in this way and then you fizzle out at the end. So if you need to add staff, do that. Some of you are already to that point. As a one-man show or as a one-woman show or as a one-person show, you really have reached the limits of what you can do yourself. Is it time to add to your team? Is it time to outsource? Is it time to delegate? And is it time for you to eliminate? One of the things that I have been guilty of is hoarding assignments. I love to help people. And if you're like me, you like to do so too. But there is an expiration date on some of the things that we have done in the past. And then there's a new start date on what you want to do next. So don't be afraid to let some things go for you to be able to go forward onto the new projects and to the new innovations that you want to create. Another thing that I encourage you to do is to be innovative. Sometimes when we're working and we're doing the same thing for so long, we can lose some of that passion and some of that fire that was once there. So be innovative. So that may mean you need a trip. Maybe you need a vacation. Maybe you need to go to a museum, or maybe you just need to get out and go experience something completely outside of your norm to give you that spark that you need again. But innovation is a great way for you to stay on top of the latest information and be entertaining at the same time. And more important than anything else, I would say, continue to study your industry. So many authors, creatives, producers, storytellers get stuck like in an era. So we know we've had in our modern history, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and we all kind of know what happened in those times. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in an era that can cause you to become an error. You know what I'm saying? So stay on top of your industry. What are the latest trends? What is going on? What's emerging? I study publishing as a publisher. I study trends in authorship. I'm studying methods. What is it that is happening that will give you a spark so that you're not just doing things the same way, the same thing, the same time, the same method that you've always done them, and continue to network in your industry. Where are your friends? Maybe networking is not as person to person or personal as we are used to, but remember, because we have technology, we can now do this remotely. So intentionally reach out to people. I love collaboration and I love partnership. Is there a new partner that you need? Is there a new collaborative partner that you need? Sometimes that will even open up some new ways and give you more on your team to do than you can do alone. What did we say? Audio amigos. And as friends, we are coming together to make sure that our work continues to reach as many people as possible. Are you up to the task? I know that I am. Now let's see what you're going to do. So today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, I want you to pick one thing that you're going to do that is innovative and get to work. I want to hear about it. Will you share it with us? I think so. Audio, amigos, don't neglect the power of hearing.